Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm Ray Flowers. Wanted to start out today with the guy we've been talking about seemingly every day here at BaseballGuys.com, and that's the Red Sox Jacoby Ellsbury. Gave an update yesterday on a downturn in his recovery from those 4 hairline fractures. Lots of concern. He was out of the lineup yet again, saying he was experiencing the same pain. The good news at this point is they ran tests and they determined that there weren't any new injuries to that side area of his. There are the hairline fractures that are still healing. Apparently there's some swelling around that area. It's uncertain at this point if Ellsbury will need to go on the disabled list. He still might have to, but at this point everyone in Boston has got a little bit of a sigh of relief because there's no new injury. So hopefully, even if Ellsbury has to go down for a couple of weeks, he'll be back the first day he's eligible. We'll have to wait and see how the Red Sox play it. If you're an Ellsbury owner, put him back on that bench of yours. Continue to hold on and hope that at some point he gets healthy and returns to his base-stealing ways. It gives him all that value in fantasy leagues. Victor Martinez also for the Red Sox. I should mention him before I move on. He's got a toe injury. He's going to miss his 3rd straight day-to-day. He also doesn't look like someone who's going to be placed on the disabled list, but you'll continue to have to monitor that lineup of yours and make daily changes if you can. Martinez out for the 3rd straight day here on Thursday. Carlos Zambrano is a pitcher who's probably been added in a lot of leagues. There's the news that came out they're no longer going to try him as that setup guy in the Cubs bullpen. They're going to move him back to the starting rotation. Well, now we get word today on Thursday that Carlos Zambrano has been sent to the hospital with appendix-like symptoms. We don't have an updated report as I'm putting this together about whether he is going to have that appendix removed, but apparently he's got symptoms that lead doctors to believe that that's what's going on. If that does occur, we're probably looking 3 or 4 weeks without him being in the lineup. At this point, even if it's something very minor, you have to think that his ability to return to that starting rotation next week is probably also in doubt. That's good news for Tom Gorzolani, who figures to then remain in the rotation despite some struggles with his finger and a really bad outing the last time out on the hill. I guess the Cubs are going to have to continue to wait, look for Zambrano news as we move forward and we get a little bit better read on what his physical condition is. You know, I wanted to talk about another pitcher there with the Cubs, and that is the relief pitcher Carlos Marmol. Now, Marmol blew a couple of saves early on, but he's done a very good job in the 9th inning. He's got 11 saves and 13 opportunities this year. But the big thing with him is he has been flat out amazing when it comes to the strikeout rate, and I'm talking historically so. Marmol has 49 strikeouts and 24 and 2/3 innings of work. He is averaging 17.88 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. The major league record set by Eric Gagne in 2003 is 14.98. That's for any pitcher who's done at least 50 innings in a season. So again, 14.98, 17.88. Carlos Marmol has been absolutely amazing with the strikeout pitch this year, and while obviously we have to assume that number is going to regress moving forward, he clearly has put himself in a position to challenge that all-time record. John Eli with the Dodgers. He's a pitcher, and like I said on the posting here, he's the real deal. Guy's got 5 straight games where he's allowed 2 runs or less. He had another solid outing on Thursday for the Dodgers, lowering his ERA to 3. He's got a whip of 1. His strikeout to walk ratio is better than 5.3 to 1. You throw strikes, you don't walk anyone, you strike some guys out, you're going to have a lot of success. Eli is positioning himself obviously to remain in that rotation once Vicente Padilla returns, and Eli, if he keeps doing this, he might have some hardware in his back pocket by the end of the season. He looks absolutely spectacular and shouldn't be on the waiver wire in any fantasy league at the moment. Matt Lindstrom, a relief pitcher for the Astros, was brought over as well as Brandon Lyon. Lyon was given the big contract. Lindstrom came in with the big arm. Well, Lindstrom was given the 9th inning role, and he's looked pretty good so far. In fact, he converted 22 straight save opportunities before Thursday, a fact I tweeted about when he was brought into the game on Thursday, which then, of course, meant, he went out and blew that 23rd straight chance. So his streak ended at 22 straight saves, going back to last year when he was with the Marlins. But Lindstrom's looked good this year. Doesn't figure to give up that 9th inning role with the Astros anytime soon. I guess Brandon Lyon is still the fallback option there, but Matt Lindstrom looks like he's got that job locked down completely. And then finally, I want to discuss the case of B.J. Upton, who's out of the lineup again today with the Rays. He's batting .154 for the month of May. His batting average is below .220 on the season. He has really, really struggled in the batting average department, though the other numbers are decent for the fantasy game. Very difficult to continue to run a guy out there who's barely above the Mendoza line. Now, what's the issue with Upton? There are many issues, not the least of which being that his walk rate has declined. But his batting average on balls in play mark this year is .266. His career rate, 336. That obviously doesn't match up. Upton's always been able to produce a very high hit rate. I would assume there's no reason to think he won't increase that number as moving forward. In fact, the lowest single season mark he's had up to this point is 310, which he had last year. So Upton should be able to increase his hit rate. That should lead to an improvement in his batting average. He's probably not the 300 hitter we saw a couple years ago, but there's every reason to believe he can still get back up to that 262 career mark that he owns. He should at least be able to do that for his fantasy leaders. I'm Ray Flowers. It's BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me on Thursday or Friday or whenever you see this. Make sure you keep on visiting me at BaseballGuys.com and visit me on Twitter at twitter.com/BaseballGuys. Talk to y'all soon.